It's Orlando Out of Context. I'm here with Stephanie, and this is Johnny.
Hey, you stole my intro.
Sorry.
And today we have a special guest.
We have Joel Figueroa, because you couldn't say his name.
No, I'm too white.
She's too white to say it, so welcome, Joel. He is with Impulse Orlando, right here in sunny Orlando, Florida. So welcome. How are you?
I am doing very well, and thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
I mean, I am Latino, so I have to.
Yes. No, unfortunately, the first and last name do get bastardized, but
I thought your name was Joel.
Understandably, and I let it slide. I let it slide with everyone, coworkers, teachers, because I hear it just so often. But Joel Figueroa has, flavor to it.
Yes. It's just kind of like with my name. My name is Jonathan, but I spell it different. So in Spanish, it's Jonathan or Jonathan. So I spell it the Jonatan.
What's your nationality and your ethnicity?
Yes, I'm actually Puerto Rican, like the rest of us here in
Boricua.
Yes, power in numbers.
You're not at the Bad Bunny concert tonight?
I can't afford the Bad Bunny concert.
You need to get yourself a Bad Bunny so you can afford his concert next time.
I'm working on my Bad Bunny.
What part of Puerto Rico are you from?
So I was actually born stateside, but my parents are from Bayamon and Humacao.
Okay. Yeah, I've been to, of course, San Juan. I've been to Utuado and Cabo Rojo.
Yes.
So it's the nice little mix there.
Beautiful island. I used to go every summer, but the last trip I made, we actually did. There's an interstate that actually runs the circumference of the island. Mm-hmm. And I did that with my dad and my younger brother, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Puerto Rico's fun. I was there actually in February in San Juan for a friend's birthday, and it was just like, 9 of us gays out there. And, it's very hard to get, everybody to come with everybody's different work schedule, but we were just there for 3 days. We rented this huge van, and it was literally like the party van because we had to go everywhere with it. And then like along the way, we went to El Yunque, and then we stopped by this like little drive-through where they sell like drinks, and we got mojitos and like the big cups of it. And it was just fun. We just had a good time. I wish it was a much longer trip.
I hope you had a DD, because Puerto Rico gets messy real quickly, especially with 8, 9 gay guys.
Yes.
He said the driver was drinking too.
Oh yeah, we were all drinking. But we were still responsible. We didn't.
Is that responsible?
Responsible enough for Puerto Rico, apparently.
Girl.
Well, the sober drivers look like they're drunk driving as well. So, but
exactly. So we're actually here. We wanted to interview you because we wanted to know a little bit more about Impulse Orlando, right? We know that it's a nonprofit organization for the gay community, but give us a little bit more exactly what Impulse is, what Impulse does, things like that.
Sure. So, yes, I am the current president of Impulse Group Orlando. The name is interchangeable at this point, Impulse Orlando. We really do interchange the names on our social medias and our graphics. So you'll see either or. But yes, I'm the president of Impulse Group Orlando, and I have had the opportunity to grow within the organization over the last 4 years. I originally started off as a volunteer, and our volunteers are called advocates. And then over the years, I moved up to the director of marketing. And finally, this past January, I was elected the president.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. And it is honestly my most favorite nonprofit I have ever worked with. And I have worked with maybe over 3 dozen nonprofits over my life. I've always just been passionate about, I have time, let me volunteer. Let's just go ahead and do it. So, but just to give you an idea of our mission for Impulse Group Orlando, we started off as an organization that just aimed to curb the spread of HIV and AIDS about 12, 13 years ago now. But then over the last, I would say, 3 years, we saw that we could do so much more. So not only do we still concentrate on sexual health, but now we have also expanded into mental health, substance abuse, and social justice awareness.
Yes, it's so important. Like you just know that was one thing that Steph and I were just talking about a little bit earlier about mental health, but we'll get more into that topic later on.
Sure. So we really covered those four pillars. Now, the first three pillars, we really is where our main concentration are, because we recognize that sexual health, mental health, and substance abuse are all interconnected.
Yes.
You can be at I mean, I guess we're gonna discuss this a little bit later, but you could be finding yourself in a low place, maybe a bout of sadness, maybe depression, that leads you into risky sexual behavior, or the potential of using, abusing, overusing substances. So, like they're all really interconnected. Now, the last portion of the social justice awareness, through the Black Lives Matter movement that happened about 2 years ago now, it'll be 2 years this summer, I guess. Wow. We were like, we can't sit back and not pretend that we can't stand with another marginalized population. So that's when that part of our advocacy started, and up to today, where we led the Please Say Gay campaign here in Orlando, which we were very proud of, and it was very successful. We were able to partner with so many great organizations here in Orlando. It was up to the rally that we had at City Hall. It was called the Rally for Our Collective Rights, and Equality Florida was involved. The city of Orlando, Buddy Dyer was speaking there. Patty Sheehan, Q Latinx was involved. Just all these amazing nonprofits. But to be able to see all the hard work that every organization put in materialize with this large crowd of locally elected representatives, it was just really mind-boggling to just see it come to life. But yeah, so that is Impulse Group Orlando in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It sounds like you got a lot going on.
Sound like us, but even more.
It's nice, to see an organization kind of like grow with the times, like you said, just kind of taking on all these other facets of, being active in your community and doing things like that. For sure.
Yeah, because I was reading a little bit more, doing a little bit more research about Impulse Group in general. And I read that you guys are in 25 different cities. Y'all are in different, different countries worldwide. So it seems like you guys are growing and expanding. So you started with Impulse back 4 years ago, correct? And I read that it started back in 2015 here in Orlando. Do you know why it started back in 2015? Like, why Orlando? Why not, Tampa or, another Florida city per se?
Sure, I can answer that. So our particular chapter did start in 2015, so now 7 years ago, and it's just amazing to think that. But it was because, as and I hate to even say this, because it almost sounds like it invalidates our mission, but we saw a problem with an uptick in new HIV infections. And at the time, I believe, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the correct answer. I think it was that we were 5th or 7th in the United States for new HIV infections at the time. So again, we just hit the streets. We were trying to get as many people HIV tested, trying to get people to know their status. And fast forward to 2021, we were number 2 in the United States for new HIV infections. And let me tell you, Florida has always led the pack as the number 1 state for new HIV infections. Yeah. And that is South Florida, that's Miami. So that is why we started here, and we will work our asses off until we fix our numbers.
Do you think though it's a little bit like skewed because the gay population is so highly condensed in Florida, as opposed to maybe somewhere like in the Midwest or some other state?
So it's funny that you bring that up. I think there's 2 things going on with new HIV infections. Maybe 3. The third one is my personal I've had for like 10 years now, and it seems to be coming true. But the first one is there's something about the conservatives, something about the Christian states. So if you look at the states with the highest new HIV infections, you're going to be surprised to see like Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, and you're like, what are you talking about? Like, are there gay people there? Yes, there are, but then there's also a lack of sexual health education.
Yes.
There's also a lack of resources. So everything is just very compounded. Now, my second reason is I don't think we really fall into the lack of resources necessarily here in Florida, nor are we too Christian based. I mean, Ron DeSantis could say otherwise, but as of this year, the new HIV infections look to have decreased within the Caucasian population, remained the same within the Black population, actually increased within the Latino population. Mm-hmm. So I think that's another driver within Florida and South Florida. Are these individuals transient? Are these individuals not having the language barrier addressed? Is there religious reasons? A lot of Latin countries are Catholic, and sexual health again is not even spoken of. Yeah. Now I'm going to share my third reason, and this I'll hold myself to it forever. But I've always had this theory that the younger generation didn't have to live through the AIDS epidemic, and so it's almost this mindset of, oh, there's no AIDS, oh, I'm not going to get HIV, all these misconceptions, when this virus is still very well alive. Now, I'm 33 years old, and I was just at that tail end of the AIDS epidemic. Mm-hmm. So, I lost 2 uncles to AIDS, one because of their sexual lifestyle, the other because of substance abuse. And, again, to really reel in the fact that you can get it multiple ways. Mm-hmm. But I'm 33 years old. Again, look at the populations that are getting new HIV infections. It is that 18 to 25 age range. Mm-hmm. It is the Latinos, it is your minorities, Black folk. So that's my third theory. There's no studies that I know of, but I really think there's just this disconnect between the AIDS epidemic and this younger generation.
It's true.
Definitely a good observation.
It really is.
I watched a documentary on Disney Plus. It was called Fauci, and it was about Dr. Fauci. So it basically showed like two things. It highlighted, his work with COVID, and then his work like during the outbreak of AIDS and things like that. And I'm 37, so when I was alive, I didn't really see all that. I mean, because I was just very young. But watching, they have like actual footage of the LGBTQ population like doing rallies and like holding up signs, like because they were, like people hated him for COVID, they hated him for AIDS research and all those kinds of things. So, and then they interviewed, like they showed like a lot of people who were so, like, oh, I lost like all my friends within a period of like 2 or 3 years. And being even 37, I'm watching this and I'm thinking like, oh my god, like I didn't know that it was that serious. Like I truly didn't. So even today, I'm still thinking that until I saw this footage of what was happening in the 80s and how real it was. You just don't know. You really just don't know.
And not only that, but with the fact that being a minority as a Latino, and then like you said, it's mainly the Latinos and the Blacks that are catching the AIDS, is because they're not getting the proper education and resources, quote unquote, to learn and realize and educate themselves. And another opinion of mine too would be that here in Florida, a lot of people, like you said, is a transit state. So not a lot of people typically stay here. So a lot of people come on vacation, they want to go buck wild, they want to have fun, have sex with whoever they want with no consequences because they don't live here. And then the people who live here, we get screwed over with the consequences. So that could be another issue as well, with the fact that people are not, they're coming and going, they're coming here to party. Like, look at Miami, like this past weekend for spring break and ultra, music festival and stuff, because of all the spring breakers, all that chaos and curfews had to be happening because people can't control themselves. They want to come and act a fool up here. And it's ridiculous, but.
So tell us a little bit about, some services that you provide to Orlando for the education stuff. Do you have classes, workshops?
Sure. So I can tell you about some of our programming. So we hold quarterly testing for tickets events, and what it is we hold an HIV testing event where you get put into a raffle to win tickets to see. We just gave away tickets to see J Balvin, but the next one we're gonna give tickets away to see Alyssa Edwards. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but
yeah, from Drag Race, of course.
I know. I don't know who that is.
She's cool.
But yeah, we've given away tickets, and the reason why I know how expensive the Bad Bunny tickets was because this was one of our options. And I'm like, that's not coming from our budget.
All of Orlando would have been coming for testing.
I know, for real.
Got everybody tested.
Even the straights would have been coming.
100%. But yeah, so we hold these quarterly events because, let's say, they're done every 3 months on purpose, so that if someone wants to get tested, great. You're going to find out your status within. There's different variations with the test. There's a rapid 1-minute test. There's a rapid 15-minute test, 10-minute, and they'll bring whichever one to do the test that day. Now the thing is that you might not have been reactive at that time because the virus might not have been running rampant. So, but within that 3-month window, then we can have like a confirmatory test. Mm-hmm. So that's why we do it every single 3 months. And each one varies, each one of these testing for tickets events. So the last one we just held was a weekend at Amor Saturday, which is a Latin night, and then Noche Latina at Southern Nights, which is a Monday night, again, a Latin night. And again, we are targeting that at-risk population, yes. Younger, club-going, Latinx community. And I'm really excited for our next one. I'll plug it real quick. I feel very weird. This go around, we're actually partnering with Come Out With Pride, And on April 16th, they are actually having their prom. And I welcome everybody to attend their prom. It is from 8 to midnight, if I'm not mistaken. It is an open bar from 8 to 9 p.m. Just
sign me up.
Okay.
That's all you got to tell people. Open bar. They're like, all right, we're there.
I'll be there.
Right. There will be a nice pink carpet to let everybody in to that.
Yes.
Roxy Andrews, Les Vixens, and I believe they have a third performer. But they are all going to be.
What's the venue?
It's going to be at the Orlando Museum of Art.
Oh, classy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I read about that with the Come Out Pride. And that'll be kind of cool because then, we got, gay days coming up in June. So it'll kind of align with everything. So that's perfect.
Exactly. So, it's just an attempt to give the LGBT community that prom experience that they were never afforded, growing up. So I'm really excited for that. So
I'm straight and I never went to prom either. So I got gypped as well.
There we go. So that is the come out with that is the come out with pride portion of the evening. And then we are actually doing the after party.
Ooh,
so
say less.
That's spicy. So we are going to be hosting the after party at Savoy.
Okay. Yeah,
have you been fun?
I'm sure I have in one of my drunken stupors in my early 20s.
There we go.
I feel like I've been in almost all the clubs in Orlando, but I can't really remember. Where's Savoy at?
It's in downtown on Orange Ave, but like towards like Winter Parkish area.
Ivanhoe Village.
There you go, Ivanhoe Village.
Okay, yeah, possibly.
She's like, I've been there.
You might have
It's
more of a photogenic
possible.
memory, so you might remember once you see it. It's changed a bit from back in the days, though.
The Uber took her home at the end of the night. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Listen, I am so old that there was no Uber when I was in my heavy drinking days.
Girl, you act like we old. You 37, I'm 36, he's 33.
There
We're
was
in
no
our golden
Uber.
age.
When I was 21, there was no Uber.
There wasn't. You're right.
You had to have one
right.
person who didn't drink and would take one for the team and keep you safe all night.
The DD, the designated driver.
These kids don't know how good they got it.
Right.
That's true.
So yeah, we're doing the after party, and since they're doing the prom, we're maintaining that school aesthetic. And by happenstance, that evening, every Saturday at Savoy, it's actually called Detention Saturdays. So it's like, great, keep the school going. And our particular night, we are calling it just sex ed. And we're just going to be giving out sexual education facts throughout the night. But have you been there recently, Jonathan?
To Savoy, no. I think the last time I was there was probably maybe 2 months ago.
Okay. So but you've seen all the renovations.
Oh yeah. I've seen all the renovations. They have the whole section where they do the drag shows on one side, then you got the little main bar in the middle with the go-go dancers, and you got the more chill side, and then all the fun happens in the back.
And then that whole back patio they built, really, they did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Well, we are going in and we are completely gutting it. We are redecorating it with amazing lights and dry erase boards on the walls, and it's gonna be really pretty. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to give away too much.
Aren't you supposed to lose your virginity on prom night too?
You are.
Ooh.
Oh.
So as long as you do it the safe way, hence comes that sex ed, passing out condoms, passing out lube,
Yes, we will have the condoms, we will have the lubes, and we will have all the testers right at the front door to get you tested so that you know your status.
Nice.
And they also have a vending machines for other little nooks and nannies too, for if you want to be more adventurous as well.
Oh.
They actually do have a vending machine inside. Stephanie, you really, maybe this is a good opportunity for you to check it out on 16.
Maybe it's time.
We'll go. We should go.
We should go to prom.
I'll take you. We gotta get all dolled up. Look,
you gonna buy me flowers?
I'll buy you flowers. Why not? You gonna buy me flowers?
You have to get the one the boutonniere.
The boutonniere.
I've never learned what the corsage.
It's a corsage for a girl and a boutonniere for a man.
Oh, I thought you said boutonniere.
Boutonniere. Or whatever your little heart pleases, you know?
That's true.
Yes. So as far as our programming, we will always try to encompass HIV testing, but like, for instance, through that night, we're going to be educating everybody on sexual facts or LGBTQ history. So we have some like trivia games planned throughout the performance, and we will be giving out prizes all night as well. So it's kind of a big experience, but in the past, we've given out Hep A vaccines as well. We have done Hep testing as well. Let's see. So we can do a little bit of everything when it's sexual health oriented. In the past with mental health, we've done like Let's Keep Healing Orlando, where it's more geared towards mental health and trying to get you to relax, and having art therapy and having yoga and massage therapy, you know, and a lot more. But yeah, we try to cater all of our events to one of the pillars.
And not only that, but you're also doing it in a way where it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's still informative, very engaging, interactive, and keeps people, you know, wanting to like learn more about it. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, you go to like events or seminars where you learn certain things and it's just so boring. And with everybody's attention spans nowadays, you have to keep it very intriguing and enticing all the time. So that's a very good way to do it. And then
I love a theme.
And you know? Like you said, a theme, do it in a club setting, you know, that way people could still have fun, you know, still be educated and still learn everything while having fun in the process. That's pretty cool.
You actually brought up a good point where some nonprofits are very constricted by their grant. You know, unfortunately, these grants will say you need to test so and so many people, and it has to be at like a library. Our grant actually allows us to go into places where their grants stop. So we get to push the boundary. So an example, which we've used in the past, and we're trying to figure out how to incorporate it for this one, we will actually hire like porn stars, where they'll be like, look at your face.
I like your vibe.
We'll hire porn stars, you know, just to bring the people in, as they see,
eye candy. Yep.
Look at this eye candy. Now you're in the trap, and now I'm gonna get you tested. So we get to really like push the envelope.
You gotta set up the thirst trap. Yep. Just like Grindr, them thirst traps. Same concept, but you're doing it live in the flesh. Like if you're a cute little twink Latino guy, and then you see a flyer, some hot porno guy, it's gonna be at Savoy or at Southern Nights. You're gonna tell all your little friends. You're gonna have a little kiki. You're gonna go show up there, get the thirst trap, see him shake himself. You know, maybe touch him, give him some tip money, and then you guys come along, be like, by the way.
While you're here.
By the way, here's some condoms. Let's go get you tested. We'll enter you for a prize. Sold.
Correct.
Sold.
That and
I'm telling you, it works.
John is ready to work on the next planning committee.
Yes, I'm ready.
Well,
you said porn and alcohol, sign me up.
I invite the both of you to come to our next meeting. Actually, we hold bi-weekly public meetings, so that's for anybody that may be interested as becoming like a new member, or just to see what we're about. Or if you want to stay dedicated, we value everybody's opinion on what themes should be, who we should hire. So yeah, I do welcome the.
Where do you have the meetings at?
We have them in downtown in one of our members' buildings. It's one of the Camden buildings. You know, they own everything in downtown.
Yeah.
But they have a big studio room that everybody can use. It has some
kind of like a clubhouse meeting area. Yeah. So that was going to be one of my questions. Like, how do you get volunteers, or how do you get advocates who want to join or who want to get information, but they're not too sure how to go about it? Like, how would you want people to like get to come to you guys for that?
So we actually, as of right now, only work on social media. So we work out of Facebook, Instagram, and a little bit of Twitter, a little bit of LinkedIn. But yeah, if anybody's interested, we always ask, like, shoot us a message, we'll reply, and we will invite you to our meeting. When I took it over in January, one of my passion projects was that I wanted it to be more of a family setting than a professional setting. We are all, the executive board and our advocates are not paid to do any of this. Mm-hmm. So why make this feel like a job?
Exactly.
No, I did not like that. And I love our past administrations, but I always felt like when I would go to these meetings, it would be like 8:30. All right, done. Everybody go home. And it's like, wait, but we're like friends, and we could hang out for a little bit, like
socialize.
I hated that. So when I took over, we have food and drinks every meeting, available for everybody, and yes, we have our meeting, but everybody can hang out afterward and just get to talk and see, like, what have you been up to? What are you doing this weekend? Because what I have noticed in our membership, which has grown sixfold since January, is that our new advocates are looking for a sense of community.
Yes.
Definitely.
They're new to Orlando, or the pandemic turned them into hermits. They are trying to get away from a bad lifestyle, or it could be for whatever reason, but they are seeking just friends. And I have no problem with, after a meeting, like, yeah, like this, for example, at the last one, I'm eating greasy Publix chicken, but let's have a conversation.
No, it's true. It's a way, like you said, bringing community together. You're still doing something for the community. You get to network, meet new people potentially for friends. Especially here, at least for me in the Orlando, like the gay community. Overall, in general, the gay community can be a little rough, a little. If you don't fit a certain group, if you're not a muscle queen, or if you're not tall and skinny, or if you're not a twink, or you're not white, like they just judge you so much. Very judgmental. I can see
it from the outside, how judgmental you are within each other.
Yes, and it sucks. And I think, at least for me, like, I'm a thick guy. I've always been a thick guy. When I first came out being gay, it was very hard for me to adjust from my quote unquote straight life and coming to the gay world and being judged because I'm tall, because I'm bigger, because I'm this, because I'm that. And that caused, at least for me, it caused a lot of insecurities, Mm-hmm. And I feel like maybe a lot of other gays feel the same way, even though they don't voice about it, but it's true. And then all these quote unquote, other gay oriented organizations that I've seen in the past, they're all like, no offense, white people or muscle queens. And I'm like, where's the diversity? Like, I want to meet other Latinos. I want to meet, somebody skinny. I want to be somebody short. I want to be somebody thick. I want to, have a little bit more diversity. And I haven't seen that. And then with you guys, when, I happened to meet up with Neil and his boyfriend, I was like, oh, you guys are part of this group. And he told us, took us to the website, to the Instagram page. It's like, oh, snap, all these people here are diverse. And I really love that about that, is the diversity.
I could jump out my window right now because I'm so happy to hear that. Um, I and this is at no fault to when they started this chapter because they all had great intentions.
Mhm.
But something that we have been actively combating since our administration took over was that stigma.
Mhm.
Because unfortunately, when this chapter launched, and they did amazing work in the community, and I'm so thankful for them. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, it was very white. It was predominantly white. It was very attractive white muscular men.
Mhm.
And
So you're speaking about 2015 until today, like
yes,
the start?
Yeah.
Okay.
yes. So and I won't lie, and I have been vocal about this. The reason why I didn't start before then was because I was intimidated by that. I was like, who are these white, tall, attractive,
Exactly.
muscular guys? Like I was so intimidated by it. I did not want to be involved at all. And then over the years it started changing a little bit. And and I would say our last president, who was our first Black president, he he was fortunate enough to be able to diversify the organization. And then this year, as of January, we just took it and ran with it. I mean, because that wasn't representative of the LGBT community back in
Mhm.
2015, and that wasn't representative of Orlando. And
Yep.
yes, I am a white passing Latino, but I understand my privilege, and I know where it needs to stop. Uh, so I welcome everybody. You know,
Yeah.
I have been so happy with how we have just broken so many barriers. We have been just breaking down doors. We didn't have women prior to this year. Now we have women in our organization, and they are just as valuable as all of these men.
Yeah.
I just welcome everybody, and I just want everybody to know that there's this organization out there for them that will take care of them, that will cater to them, that is a source of resources. So I'm really glad that you said that because, yeah, I would have to say up until January, we were, I, as this community liaison, was still hearing, oh, the white
Mhm.
the white sluts are here. And keep in mind, it was just me showing up to like this professional meeting, and then I'd have to sit there and be like, no, we're not like that, you
Yeah.
know.
And I
So
didn't even know you guys existed into I met up with Neil and I'm like, wow. And then I was like, wow, this has been here for a while. Like I never knew about it because I felt also very intimidated when, try to join like a gay, volleyball team or dodgeball or softball, whatever. Like it was always mainly white. Cause
why does
like
Becky laugh so hard at you?
Gay volleyball team.
gay volleyball team.
I just see like a bunch of gays like, and then like when like the ball passes you and then you stick your hand out and you're like, I'm gonna get sweaty.
And it was like that back in the day. That's why I never like, and I've told you this before, like I've always had an issue with meeting gay friends. Like me, like even though I'm a gay man, I don't like the bullshit drama, the cattiness that comes a lot within the gay world. And that's why I don't really have a lot of gay friends because a lot of the ones that I've met, they're just so catty. Like I don't need the drama. Like I watch telenovelas. I don't need that's more than enough drama. And so that's what most of my friends back in the days was more mainly straight, mainly women. I started to gain a little bit of a gay group, but then a lot of them moved. They moved to New York, they moved to Miami, they moved abroad. So I didn't really have that much of a gay community here anymore.
I think it's just the human experience, though.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing with girls, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There'll be groups, you know, like sororities. You look at some sororities and it's just pretty, skinny, blonde-haired girls. And you look at them and you're like, I can't be a part of that group. Like, and it's just, I think it's just the human experience. All people have like these subcultures, and there are people that try to, you know, create, you know, everybody is like same want to be same. Like everybody who's the same wants to stick together and kind of intimidate everyone else from entering that. But we're, you know, everyone's so beautiful and you all have so many good things to offer.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody has their own beauties, you know.
Can make a group, you know, like we go to we work out at a gym that's a very all-inclusive gym, and it's not intimidating, and it's like we all have our own strengths. Like if there's anything you need, like this person bakes cakes and this person does handiwork and this person knows stuff about computers, so like within our friend group we're all covered, you know. And it's a beautiful thing to see.
And especially as a minority and as a gay man, it's nice to hear that you guys are very inclusive. And that's what kind of intrigued me about it. And that's why I was like, okay, you know, I'll definitely want to learn more about the organization and, you know, talk to you guys about it. And, you know, hopefully, like you said, become an advocate as well and do some of the volunteering as well and, you know, meet new people. So I'm very glad that I had that conversation. It was so funny because they came, because that was their first time, Neon and his boyfriend, going to Southern Craft. I love Southern Craft because
that's of their second home.
Because they have top-notch quality drinks and it's very affordable, you know, for the quality drinks, and then for all you can drink that they do every the first month of every month, which by the way is this Friday. I probably will see Neil and his boyfriend there. I will be there. It was just nice to like hear that and just connect, and like we just had a great time, you know. And I'm excited about that. Now, as far as like other resources, because I know I was reading online that you guys offer some of the other resources. One of the big ones, me growing up when I first came out, you know, being gay and stuff, was the center. I mean, almost everybody knows the center, and they've been growing and expanding. What are some of the other local resources that you guys have that help with the organization and to help people as well?
Sure. So our bread and butter is the HIV testing. But what we are working to ingrain in our advocates this year is to know those resources. And the reason why I say that is because what Impulse is most importantly is a linkage in the community. Okay, so the reason why I say that is because we don't directly provide the mental health services. We don't directly provide the substance abuse services, but each one of my members will, you know, tell you where you can get those services.
It's like a concierge service.
Correct. You know, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go to your friend and talk to them about your problems before you know, you're gonna look it up online.
Yep, very true.
So right now, I think we have about 60 members, which is just insane to me because we have never had a membership that large, and in my 4 years that I've been here. So we're gonna be doing a training very soon on April 6th. But my goal is to give them all the materials that they could ever need to answer anybody's questions about sexual health, mental health, substance abuse, or social justice awareness, so that they can direct anybody and anybody's questions to the proper place. Of course, the center, amazing. The center provides everything in Orlando.
We did an interview with them a couple years ago, maybe like 2 years ago.
Who did you interview? I'm just curious.
I feel like his name is John.
John, or was it Joel?
No, it wasn't Joel. I feel like his name was John. It was a long time ago.
Was he white?
Yes, he was white and he was tall. And
Not sure. No, because Joel Jr. Morales used to be this voice of reckoning over at the center, and I look up to him. He's probably younger than me, but amazing person. And then George Wallace is the executive director there. Another.
Maybe it was George. Yeah, maybe it was George.
It was George.
He is white.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, he's white.
So it might have been George then. Yeah, because that was a couple of years back. Because I saw online, you guys also have like another one that I use more when when PrEP came out. With the Truvada was with Bliss Healthcare.
Yeah.
I remember one time I didn't have any insurance. I went to the health department in downtown. Such a freaking mess. Such a mess. I bless their hearts for those people who work there and deal with all those people. And they're the ones who refer me to Bliss over there off of Curry 4. And those people are amazing. Like they do everything. Like
let me answer your question a little better. So let's say your friend comes to you and says, Stephanie, I've been a little too promiscuous. What do I do? Like, I don't want to catch the HIV, right? Well, then you need to be like, well, first of all, it's called HIV. It's completely preventable. All you need to get is on PrEP. You take 1 pill a day and you will never catch HIV. Okay, so where can I get it? Well, you have a dozen places in Orlando that you could possibly get on PrEP. You can go to Bliss Healthcare. You can go to 26 Health. You could go to the Department of Health, AHF, Orlando Immunological Center. I mean, I could just keep naming them, IMG, but and then, you can fine tune it a little more because you start learning a lot about these clinics, just like Jonathan said, Bliss Healthcare does have the Bliss Cares program, which not only covers the exams and the labs and the PrEP, but even if you have health insurance, then this Bliss Cares program actually even covers your copay, which to me is just insane.
Wow, that's awesome.
I love them. They're amazing people. Every time I go there back then,
Yes, and so I tell people, first of all, you should and you will never you should not be paying for PrEP. You will never be paying for PrEP. Just ask the right questions, ask the right people. HIV is completely preventable. If you do get HIV, it is not a death sentence anymore. You need to go into treatment. And again, these are all your resources that you have to get into treatment. Again, it's just 1 pill a day. It's just like taking a vitamin, and you're going to live just as healthy and long life as you were before.
Yeah. And that's good that you say that, because with PrEP, when Truvada was around, like, at least for me, it didn't agree with me like at all. Like I was like, when I first heard it, I was excited about it. I was like, I have an extra barrier of protection, of course, with safe sex, all that stuff. And you're gonna have some moments where you're like, having a night out, you're drinking, you're not so coherent as far as like thinking about safety. You just want to go in and have fun, and you're gonna slip up. And everybody has had unprotected sex, it happens. So knowing that you have that extra barrier with protection with the pill is great.
It sounds like the men's birth control.
Yeah, it is. That's what my roommate is like. It's like, oh girl, I blow up my birth control. I'm gonna take my birth control. Yeah, we say that.
It is.
Real.
And you brought up a good point. Actually, the creator of our nonprofit, Jose, he named our organization Impulse because of those impulsive moments.
There you go. You see, but Truvada didn't agree with me. It didn't agree with my body. It made me very lethargic. It made me nauseated and affected with my libido.
And birth control can do that too.
Yeah. So I stopped it. Right. I stopped it because and it agreed with me. Like I gave it a try, and it didn't agree with me. So I stopped it for a while. And then I recently got back on the Scoby last year. And the Scoby has been so great for me, like no side effects. And I don't get any of those stuff. So it's good to have those options, because in the beginning they didn't have other than just Truvada. So it's good that they now have the Scoby as well. And it's more, at least for me, I don't have any of the side effects. So I guess I don't know if it's better or not, but for me, it just agrees overall.
It is actually a lot better. First of all, the Scoby is a fourth of the size of the pill as Truvada, in case you didn't notice. It has less wear and tear on your body as Truvada. And Truvada, the side effects were pretty negligible. The biggest complaint was like the digestive issues that could come along with it. But while Truvada had a bigger or higher impact on your kidneys and your liver and your bone density, the Scoby actually has seen an increase in bone density and is just as effective as Truvada. So, and I know plenty of women that are on PrEP as well. So it's not just a men's daily.
Oh, women can take it?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
So that way you can get protected. I mean, obviously it's more common for.
Why do they only
because
tell it to men then?
Because gay men is more susceptible for it because we have gay sex, which is through the bum bum. And the bum bum is
yes. I don't know. I just feel like everyone is equal. Like I don't like how they discriminate against men, especially you know, when you're like trying to donate blood, there's a lot of discrimination against I just feel like anyone who's having sex is open to getting anything.
When I've donated blood, I don't say that I'm gay because like you said, they discriminate against that.
Yes.
And that sucks.
Because you know, whether you're having man-to-man sex, it's still there's straight people having anal sex.
Yeah, I know.
Correct.
Lots of it.
So just like Gardasil was mismarketed back in 2008, and now you watch ads and you see that Gardasil is being just as much plugged for boys as it is for girls. And for those of you who don't know what Gardasil is, it's a vaccine. You take 2 vaccines over like a year, 2 or 3, but it prevents you from getting the more serious strains of human papillomavirus, HPV. In girls, that's like ovarian cancer, and then different forms of other cancer. Well, I think maybe that same issue is happening today with PrEP, where it's being mass marketed towards gay men. And yes, there is more tearing and more tissue fluid exchange than there is with the heterosexual intercourse.
Yes.
But women
can still get it as straight people as well. Exactly.
So.
But a lot about medical things is we need time, we need studying, we need all these advancements, like everything that we're talking about now are benefits that we get to reap from all the deaths that occurred in the 80s, all the people that lost loved ones. Like if there's anything that you can take from that and feel solace, is that all the generations moving forward, you're going to learn from it and gain knowledge, and we're just going to get better and better with the healthcare stuff.
And they shouldn't have any excuse. This younger generation, they shouldn't have any excuse to continue getting HIV, continue the infection, because the older generation laid down the path for this new generation to still have sex, but do it in a much more safer way, and just have that knowledge passed down. But they're not taking advantage of it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And it's good that, with these organizations and hopefully with time, the younger generation will step on the bandwagon, because they're the ones, we're getting older. They're the ones who's getting older to our age, where they're the ones who's mature enough now to be able to continue passing on that knowledge. And the only way to do that is for them to have the proper knowledge along the way.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. I completely agree with the both of you.
Yeah.
But we can spend all day.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Don't Say Gay bill?
Yes.
Because honestly, I don't know. I guess I'm a bad person. I don't like to listen to the news. I don't like to read the newspaper or like look at things, anything that I probably should be looking at. But it's become definitely a hot topic, I would say, within the last month. I mean, at least that I've been seeing it on social media. So
now the law passed, so
it just,
Sure.
without knowing much about it, it sounds very archaic for 2022. I mean, I don't really know what's going on in this country, but
Sure, I can tell you a little bit about that. I told myself earlier today, I said I should have this pulled up just in case they bring it up. But I didn't. But I was watching the whole signing ceremony, which was held yesterday in Spring Hill with DeSantis, blah, 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 and all the sponsors of the bill, all monsters.
a lot
But
of local Orlando companies too
ugh,
that I saw on that page.
yes. I'm trying to pull it up right now, but it's not coming up. Anyways, so sure. God, I wish I had the proper verbiage. Well, the bill was not originally called the Don't Say Gay bill. It is actually called the Parental Rights in Education bill.
Mhm.
And then we took it and completely ran with it and, objected to what it was really promoting, which at its core is the erasure of sexual orientation and gender identity. And it does say that in the bill. The bill is only 4 pages long. And it's funny, during the signing, one of the sponsors was talking about like, oh, how do these people not understand what's written in this bill? It's there, and if it has lines underneath it, it means it's been amended, and if it has strikes through it, it means it's been taken out. And then DeSantis comes on, and he's like, well, I don't know why they're lying so much about this bill. It clearly, the first time I read it, I was like, the media is going crazy. I need to see what this bill is about. And it clearly says K-3. And I'm just sitting here like, boy, if you don't shut up right now, like, okay. So let me walk you through the history of this bill.
Is it just in the state of Florida?
It is just in the state of Florida.
Okay.
So for now, yes, because a couple other states have taken it and they're running with it. So when they wrote this bill, it just said that it targets pretty much sexual orientation and gender identity, that it's not okay to be spoken about in the school setting. Now, as far as K-3, it never said that until it hit the Senate side. So, okay, DeSantis, if you really truly read it when it first came out, it was never amended until it hit the Senate side. Also, underneath K-3, you can see that it's underlined, meaning that it was added in later. Okay, so this whole argument from the beginning saying that, oh, it's only going to be for K-3, no, that was never a thing until later. But the problem with the bill is that it is so vaguely written that, okay, it does say K-3, but then the next line, again, would have been great to have the bill right in front of me. It says for people that are of appropriate age, something like that. Okay, great. Who is going to decide that? Not us, not the parents, not the teachers, the Department of Education of Florida. Okay, so that negates the whole K-3 ideology that they're trying to shove down everybody's throat, because with the next line, they can just do K-12. And it's written in such a way that it limits LGBTQ clubs like the Gay Straight Alliances. it causes any kind of question to be spoken or set in a heteronormative context. Mm-hmm. So an example I'll give is like one mommy plus two dad, or one mommy plus one daddy equals two parents, right? Mm-hmm. No, like we're not, the question of one daddy plus one daddy will never in the state of Florida equal two daddies, you know, because of this bill.
Yeah.
If you know, little Lucy wants to talk about her two moms, and then another student asks, like, well, why does she have two moms? You know, like now the teacher has to be like, well, go talk to your parents. You know, like it really limits teachers and how they can discuss or answer any LGBTQ questions, you know, even to the point where if a child confides in a teacher something about their sexual orientation or gender identity, and they're possibly in an abusive household, you know, like this is just making that so much worse. I mean, I can speak about this bill all day, and I could speak about it so much better if I had it in front of me. But
it just seems like it puts a negative connotation on this kind of lifestyle for kids. You know, when you're developing at a young age, that's the time that you want to teach children that most all things are okay. You know, two mommies is okay, two daddies is okay. We all have different family structures. Yep. Everyone, even straight people, having one mommy and no daddy is quite normal. Mm-hmm. Or one father and no mommy. Like everybody's family is different, and I think that's what kids should be taught. I mean,
it seems like they're trying to start controlling people's mind at a young age by limiting them and basically having that narrow mindset that this is the only way that things needs to be, and that's it.
There is no normal family structure anymore. There is none.
There is not. I mean, they even went as far in this bill, and you keep in mind, like humans, Florida humans, again, Florida white male humans wrote this. They went as far as allowing the parents to sue the entire school district if their child was, you know, exposed to this.
Oh God!
Theocracy of LGBTQ.
That's crazy.
But I actually just pulled up the bill, and the verbiage that I wanted you to hear was this. Okay, you know, this verbatim: a school district may not encourage classroom discussion, and also it's all underlined. Okay, so a school district may not encourage classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in a primary grade level. So that was amended to K through 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. So who is going to decide who is age appropriate or developmentally appropriate?
Yeah.
Department of Education of Florida. And you know, under DeSantis, they're just going to run with it.
And that's all for different children. That's different for every child in the class. And that goes for every learning thing. What is appropriate for child A or child B or child C? Like they each have their own developmental needs and speeds. So
correct. So it's very sad, and we tried our darndest. And I spent 2 weeks in Tallahassee lobbying Florida reps and senators to no avail. And throughout that entire 8-week session, but it passed unanimously. And when they opened it up for public forums, the things you would hear were so disgusting. Everything from, you know, I'm a Christian from the villages, and my granddaughter shouldn't be exposed to the gays, you know, to oh, well, I'm hearing a lot of them talk about how the LGBTQ community has higher rates of suicide and maybe they should do it. Like these were these things were said on the floor. They are recorded, and you
Mhm.
can go to the floridachannel.com or .org, whatever it is, and rewatch these videos.
Wow.
And you know, it brought out the ugliness in what these conservative values really are, and it's just ignorance and bigotry.
At
And
its finest.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, and unfortunately, they have the overwhelming majority in the state of Florida. So,
It's crazy. It's crazy. And it seems like you're very passionate about this because like I I read that you are interested in being a future politician yourself. Is that right?
yes, yes,
Okay.
I do want to run for politics one day, and it's because I've seen that if you want to make real change, you have to go about it through the Florida
Proper channels.
legislature or your city council at the local level, the county level, uh, and and I have been such a loud voice for everyone. I'm out there marching with women for women to have autonomy over their bodies.
Mhm.
I just say it like that because in 2022 we're still fighting for women to have
Mhm.
autonomy over their bodies. Um, which, by the way, we just passed the 15-week abortion ban in Florida, and so he'll be signing that soon. I'm sure he'll pick a daycare to sign it in. Uh, uh, so and when the Democrats in the state of Florida tried to amend it to allow, because realistically, women are not trying to have an abortion at 15 weeks, right? Okay, but what if she was raped? What if she was abused? What if it was a result of incest?
Mhm.
What if it could have dire consequences to her own health? Well, the Florida Democrats actually tried to amend it so that it was going to be okay under those circumstances, just to ease this bill. I mean, let alone like women not only should have autonomy over that decision, but also for whatever reason, financial or whatever hardship they might be going through. Anyways, they tried to amend it to include incest, rape, abuse, trafficking, and the Republicans wholeheartedly voted against these amendments. And then even one of them, Ileana Garcia, I think she is from South Florida, they were asking her publicly, and she was like, no, if she gets raped, she should be carrying the baby to full term. This is an elected
Oh,
senator
Oh
in
wow.
in the state of Florida.
They don't
This,
understand that the mental abuse that causes somebody, like just alone, just the rape in itself, and the fact that you have to still carry that person's child for full term, like that's
yes,
just mental abuse, and at its finest, right
you
there.
know, some women don't realize they're pregnant for the first 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then no one should ever have to speak for a woman as far as how she should be feeling at that 15-week mark. It does not make any sense to me at all. And right now, because the state of Texas, their abortion ban is a lot smaller. I think it's like 8 weeks or something like that, which is just insane. Um, right now, we are giving vouchers, not Impulse Group Orlando, but I know Planned Parenthood, but they're giving vouchers to bring people to the state of Florida to help them with their abortions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, something I like to point out with this whole 15-week abortion ban is that, and when it gets signed, now the closest state to get an abortion at that point will be North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
is that regardless of the ban, of this 15-week ban, no matter what, affluent white women will always be able to get an abortion. You know, they will quickly charter a plane to North Carolina or New York, wherever they need to get the deed done. This bill directly affects, you know, minorities and people of color and people of lower socioeconomic statuses, you know. So yeah, I guess my point is yes about politics is yeah, you know, I have been and I will always be in the trenches with everyone because I want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard and there's just so many problems in this world.
You could be the first gay president.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. And you're taking the right step because, you know, you're doing the right things and you can hear the passion, you know, when you speak and you're very knowledgeable about everything. So you're definitely doing the right step towards that future. So
thank you.
Maybe he can be our next governor in the future here for Florida.
So when you're running, they're going to, you know, when you're running for president and they dig up like all of your old things, they're going to find our podcast.
They're going to find our podcast. They're going to find all your old Grindr messages.
Right.
All your drunken photos from college years.
100%. Like, so we dug up back in 2022, Orlando out of context. Your co-abortion, huh? 100%.
Well, there's something fun that we like to do with all of our guests. Since obviously you're an Orlando local, just like we are too, we like to do what's called a little quick speed round. So we just ask you some questions about Orlando itself. So one of the question is, what is one of your favorite restaurants here in Orlando and why?
Like the first thing that comes to your mind.
First thing, Domo.
Yes.
Oh man, I haven't eaten there still. I want to eat their wings. People just hype the wings so hard.
So I haven't eaten there yet either, so it's on our list. We haven't gone yet, but it's on our list. So why do you like it so much?
Domu, to me, well, first of all, I feel like there is definitely ramen wars that happen in Orlando. People will die for their ramen locations. Domu is mine. But I love all their ramens that they have on their menu. They have traditionals and they have their own like homemade kind. But again, just like Stephanie said, everybody talks about their wings. And if you walk through that restaurant, you're going to see their long plate of like, I think it's like 6 wings. They're massive. Good. They're massive. They're like Korean wings, so they're crunchy. And then, and then they have this kind of butter on them. It's like an Asian
anything slather in butter makes everything taste good, you know?
Super delicious. So Domu is my answer. I will.
And I think now that they have the Dr. Phillips location, I see sometimes on their Instagram that they do like special wing sauce there that they don't have at the other one.
Yeah, I've been noticing that too, and I decided to experiment the last time I was there and try one of the other ones. And I'm like, should stick to what I know.
Yeah, but you got to explore to see to realize that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's good. It gives it the variety, and I think it also helps alleviate some of the crowd at the one location versus the other one. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, they've been slowly growing. Highly, highly, highly recommend Domu. Also, it's a very like chill spot. It's over at East End Market.
East End Market, yeah.
And you know that is just like hipster and earthy tones.
That's where we can get Gideon's cookie for dessert.
Yeah, Gideon's cookies from dessert there is good. Have you drank any? Have you been to the Neighbors?
Oh, no. The Neighbors. Once you go to Domo, have your wings, go upstairs to the Neighbors. It's a new cocktail bar. It's beautiful.
Yes. I have gone. I thought it was called something else.
Yeah, it's the Neighbors.
So cute. I love it.
All the cute little stuff there, the drinks there. They have a new spring drink menu right now.
We're trying to get back there maybe this week or next week because they just rolled out their spring drinks, and they look delicious.
Yes.
Well, I would wait until they're done remodeling the first floor, because I know Mochi Donut, I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
They just took the little kitchen, the little stand where the bread market used to be.
Yeah, we saw the sign last time we were there that they were going to be moving.
Yeah, I love East Market.
Oh yeah, East Market is a lot of great stuff. On that note, speaking of drinks, what is your favorite bar to have a drink at?
My favorite bar. Now that's a hard question.
I knew it would
be. Because I'm not a big drinker, but I don't like the club scene. I like the bar scene because you could at least talk
and socialize. Yeah.
I would say if I had to go to a bar to hang out, I'd probably say Savoy. You know, it's the remodel. They did a great job with it.
Yeah.
You know, I can go to a clubby side if I wanted that. I could stick in the middle. It's loud. I could go to the other side. It's quiet. It has like enough of everything. I would say Savoy.
Are you excited for like the up and coming new location of Parliament House?
You really hit me with that.
We had to.
Last time I was downtown, I saw the sign across the street from the Taco Bell Cantina. It's gonna be like right there on the corner.
Yeah.
It says coming soon.
I will be completely honest. I am not excited about that at all.
Aww. I feel like a lot of people just have such a connection to the other spot. And honestly, the other spot was iconic. There's no way they're going to be able to duplicate the vibes, like everything. It's going to be, you might as well just call it a whole new club and just be done with it.
Call it a whole new club.
Exactly. That's what my thoughts too.
But, and I hate to say it because it's like, you're a gay, you got to support the gay things. But realistically, like, you guys chose a corner in downtown Orlando in downtown where there's no LGBTQ business.
Yep. And it's all the mixture of the drunks and the straights and, you know, with the gays and we should all be in unison, but there could be that potential chaos.
Yes.
That can happen.
But maybe this is how we get everybody together in the same room and
God willing,
you know,
that's what I'm hopeful for.
God willing, but you know, I think it's going to end up being like a straight bar. But just like you said, you know, people had a connection to the old one. It was just so massive. There was like compound. There was a lake. There was
that's what it was, like a compound.
Yes. You walk around, you socialize.
The outdoor area, the trashy hotel. I mean,
the trashy hotel.
Everything.
It's iconic.
It was like the sign.
Yeah.
That sign was iconic.
I think they could have chosen any other spot but Orange Avenue in downtown. And I'm talking about, they could have picked Mills, they could have picked Ivanhoe Village, they could have picked Audubon Park even, and that's family friendly. You know, just that was not the spot.
We were trying to imagine what used to be there. I feel like that particular spot is not that big inside.
It's big, but because I think that used to be kind of like an art gallery type of situation before. So it's big, but it's not going to be nowhere near big as the old Parliament House at all. It'll be big within downtown Orlando standards for clubs and bars in the area. So
it's very unfortunate. Orlando has, you know, shut down 2 gay bars, clubs in the last year. So we're just so limited, and we're limited to Southern Nights and Savoy.
Yeah. And then, of course, on Sunday Fun Day, you know, they do Ember, and then, of course, Irish Shannon Saturday night. But it's just only certain night. But you're right, we don't have anything. Pulse, you know, unfortunately, with the shooting, that's gone. You know, Parliament House is gone. It's like all the goods. Remember back in the days, Mr. Sisters?
Mr. Sisters.
That was a nice spot. That was.
I loved
like
Mr.
the inside
Sisters.
of that building was so nice. Like the layout was nice. It was just was in a. It's kind of in a bad area. Like bad isn't not convenient.
Yeah.
Well, there was no parking.
Yeah.
There was no parking. That was the issue too. Brink was good in downtown as well. That got
Brink was
that.
great.
Yeah. And then even back in the days with Disney, you know, when they had what did you call it? The
mannequins.
Mannequins, but what was it?
Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island. When they had Pleasure Island mannequins, they had gay nights there at mannequins, and the floor would spin, and it was so much fun. Like it was so cool.
Yeah. So to answer your question, and I hate to say it for everyone that's going to hear this, but Parliament House should not be in downtown. It should not be in Orange.
That's the next thing we rally for, you know?
Yeah.
New location.
You know, and now I'm going off on tangents, but listen, gays, LGBTQ people do not like to pay for parking, and now you want them.
I don't like to pay for parking. Nobody likes to pay for parking.
We like our alcohol
That's not reserved
cheap.
for the gays. That's everybody.
And not only that, we like our alcohol strong and we like our alcohol cheap. And that's the reason why we love Parliament House. They will literally give you a whole cup full of just straight up vodka with a little splash of cranberry. And you'd be like, oh, I'm good for the whole night.
You ever see those like things on TikTok where people will pour like champagne and then they'll have a spray bottle of orange juice?
That's your mimosa. A mist of orange juice that you got your mimosa. That's my type of drink.
All right. So to round it up, the last question is, what would be your Orlando pro tip to somebody who's new to the area, just moving here? Like a pro tip to navigate the city?
Okay. My pro tip would be, and I love, this was a good question, or at least maybe I thought of a great answer, but to adventure into the food scene. People, I think, have an assumption that Orlando or Florida as a whole does not have a food culture, but no. Orlando loves their food.
They do.
Go and seek it out. Like, you know, go into a Little Vietnam, check out any one of their pho restaurants. I was at An Hong last night. You know, if you want some Chinese baos, go to King Bao. If you want some ramen, you can, you know, Japanese ramen, go ahead and do Domu, go ahead and do Jinya. You know, if you want Korean barbecue, pick one of the dozen. Korean chicken, BBQ. Just, you know, I live on Conway, and there's a hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurant that I recommend everybody, Las Cazuelas. You know.
Okay, so, I mean, I haven't heard about that one. Okay, I love Mexican food, so I gotta check that one out.
It is a hole in the wall. It is one of those like tiny little grocery stores with the tables inside. You know, tamale factories over here. You know, just you can literally pick a country, and it is here in Orlando.
Yeah.
And just go try it out. Paris banh mi for all my banh mi's. I could if I want like American Mexican food, gringos, you know, like, oh God, let's go and eat. I'm hungry now.
Right? There's so many options. So
we just got an email, I think, from Orlando Weekly saying 200 restaurants that are opening in Orlando this year. 200.
Between now and the end of the year.
And you know, all of our posts on TikTok and stuff, like Orlando really only likes food. We post about all like activities, different things to do, fatties in Orlando, because those are the only posts that get love.
Yeah. I mean, we cover it all either way, because that's what the whole, you know, thing that we do with our social media. But like, we would hope to get more love for all the other cool things too, you know?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. There's a lot that happens in Orlando, but damn, do they make good food?
Yes, they really do. They really do.
You know, like if you want a matcha, there's a matcha store. You know, if you want a tea, go get that boba. You know, like you can literally drop like a coin into a hat and just have your heart's desire. You know, Mr. Sisters is now Isabon.
Yes, I like going there for the all you can
eat.
It's remember I told you it's a Korean barbecue.
Oh yeah, we did pass it not too long ago.
Yeah, it's good. I like going there.
No.
Oh, I've been. Stephanie. It's so good.
You ate there?
Oh yeah, I've eaten there a couple of times. Yeah, because you get to cook your food. I would say maybe a couple of months back.
Oh.
You get to cook your food. You get sushi. Like.
But you need to go on an empty stomach, like empty. You've been starving yourself all day,
so you can scarf.
See, I don't really eat that much. That's why I can't do places like that.
Yeah, you gotta.
I'll eat it for you.
He's like, he'll eat it for you.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Yes.
And spreading the info. Again, where can our listeners reach you or your organization?
Yes. So if they want to reach me, I'm not too big on social media. I hate to say that because people would say otherwise, but my social media handles are Joel #King, all spelled out. But social media gives me anxiety, so I try to, there's too many things in the world just happening. But something I do passionately advocate for is LinkedIn. I am that guy that will meet you at a bar and ask you for your LinkedIn. So okay. Joel Figueroa on LinkedIn, you can find me there and I will respond to you. And yeah, I'll give you all the information.
That's probably best for your political career, to stay out of the social medias and on the LinkedIn.
On the LinkedIn, yeah, that's the only social media mainly for you.
I don't know. I don't really do the social medias like that much either. Mainly because I spend so much time on our social media, but mostly because it gives me anxiety and I don't need all that smoke in my head. But Johnny was showing me what's going on the Twitter the other day, and I was shocked.
Twitter is the new Tumblr.
I was shocked to see what was going on Twitter, and it made me maybe want to open an account. I mean, if that's what's going on over there,
that's the only reason why I have my account.
Well, if I had to say which social media I use the most, it would be Twitter. But even on Twitter, I take a couple of days off. But for the nonprofit, it would be Impulse Group Orlando on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm of course the one that got it started on LinkedIn. And yeah, just shoot us a message and we will get back to you. We will invite you out to events. That's also where we promote our events. And every walk of life, sexual orientation, gender identity, bisexual, pansexual, demisexual, we welcome you. We welcome you. You have a home here with our organization. Straight, we love our allies. So
we cover the whole, I like to call it the mafia alphabet because we got so many letters, the mafia alphabet.
The mafia alphabet, yes.
Yes.
Please, I welcome you all.
Yes. Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking with you, learning a little bit more about yourself, learning a little bit more about Impulse Orlando, this great organization, obviously giving back to the local community, and that's what we're all about here. So we definitely appreciate that.
I really thank you for having me on to represent Impulse Group Orlando. I asked a couple of the boys on the board, but we're so busy to join me. But they're such a great group of people, and I wouldn't be anything without my board or our advocates. So I hold them up to such high esteem.
Nice. Well, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you give us a 5-star review.
Yes.
Head over to our TikTok and our
Instagram.
You know, we try to post some posts relevant to our podcast topic throughout the week. So just be on the lookout, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.